Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to see how to reverse a linked list and then how to reverse the linked list using sliding pointers. Okay, so yeah, so basically let's say I want to reverse my linked list. So basically what I want to do is I want to reverse these addresses. So now basically the next of B should point to A instead of pointing to C, and then C should point to B, and then D should point to C again. Okay, so there's two methods actually how I can do this. First is basically keeping the list exactly the same, which basically means the nodes will be right there at the addresses. Okay, everything will point at the same position. But what we can do is we can change the data from them. Okay, what I can do is I can take D and put it in A, and then I can take C and put it in B, and then put B here. Okay, so that will basically reverse it. Okay, so this is also a method which we will see how to apply it, but you should not do this. Okay, because in this example, uh, the a b c d, that's the data of our node, is just integers. Okay, that won't take a lot of time or much space. Okay, but at during other times, this is not just data. Okay, this is not just integers. This may be an object, this may be some big database. Okay, so at a there may be a lot of different variables, not just one integer. Okay, so at that time you have to move the entire thing. So that's not good. Okay, so generally when we are reversing lists, it's better if we change the addresses of the nodes. Okay, instead of taking the data and then moving it to the other side. Okay, so reversing the list. So let's just see the first method. So what I can do is basically I'll create an array for myself, and then I'm going to store all the data values of the list into my array. And firstly, I'm going to create a node. Firstly, I'm going to create my list, and then I'm going to count the length of the list, and then accordingly I'm going to create my array. Then I'm going to put all of the data inside. All right, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the list all over again. I'm going to iterate through it, and then at the data point I'm going to put first the last integer of the array, then the second last. Then as my list moves forward, my list is reversed. Okay, so the data technically is now printed in reverse. But what I'm basically doing is I'm taking all of the data in an array and then putting it back into the list, but in a reverse order. Okay, so basically what in array what I have to do here is basically I minus minus. All right, so let's just get started with the code. Yeah, so I'm going to create a function int reverse list. Let's call it reverse list. And then as I say, I have to pass my head. That's the first. And I also want to pass in the length of my node, of my list basically. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an array, and then I'm going to provide it length. Okay, wait, is that right? Length, yep, that's correct. Yeah, there shouldn't be a G. Okay, so now I have created my array length. Now I'm just going to create an I because we need to go through the loop. And now I'm going to create a while loop. Basically null. Oops, sorry. Yep. Yeah, and now what I want to do is I want to store all of those values in my array. Array I equal to p dot data, and then p is equal to p dot next. So we will move forward, and then I just want to do here I plus plus. Okay, so basically now all of my values of the data in the linked list are now stored in the array. So now I want to reset p as first, and then since this while loop ran and now my value of I has been increased once again, so it's basically 1 plus, right? So I want to do here I minus minus. Okay, you'll see why we did this, because when I'm trying to put the data inside again, at that time the I of the position of I is one more, so we got to reduce that. Okay, so now I'm going to create another while loop. I'm gonna call it p not equal to null. Yeah, and then here I'm gonna do p dot data is equal to array I minus minus. Yep, I can do it right there as well. Or I can just write I minus minus in a different line, it won't matter. And then I'm going to do p is equal to p dot next. Okay, so that's basically all. Okay, I created an integer, so I'm supposed to return something. I'm just gonna do return 0. Yeah, so this is basically my simple function to reverse a list. Here we are replacing the data. Okay, so let's just try to visualize this thing. Okay, see out, reversing the list. Okay, yep. And now I want to call my reverse list function. I'm gonna pass first, and then I'm gonna pass the length. Okay, so what's the length of my list? How much is this? This is 5 and this is 4. All right, so let's just try to do that now. I'm gonna pass in 9. Yep. And now I want to call my display function. Okay, and then I'm just going to pass first here. All right, so let's try to display this thing. I'm just going to go ahead and do right click, run code. Yep, so guys, as you can see, my linked list has been reversed. This is the original that we are printing, and then after reversing the linked list we are printing it again. So as you can see, the data has been reversed. All right, so basically this was one method how to do it. Now we are just going to try to do it in a different method. I'm just gonna go ahead and comment this one so we don't need it. Now we are going to implement another method. Okay, that's reversing using sliding pointers. Okay, so this is a very interesting concept. Yeah, so basically let's just get started. Just this thing. Yeah, so we basically use 3 pointers here, and we will move them forward one behind the other. Okay, so first we have our p pointer, and then I'm going to create 2 more pointers which now point to null, called q and then r. Okay, so as p moves forward, q follows, and then as p moves forward again, and then q moves again, and then r follows back. Right now both of these are pointing towards null. So at a time in a loop, when p is here and then q is here and then r will be just right behind it, at this point what I want to do is basically, firstly I want to do my p dot next. Okay, so p will move forward. Okay, but what I want to do is basically I want to point q's next to r. All right, so this is the main trick that we have to do here. So as I go on iterating through my linked list, each time when the value of q moves forward, it will point to its previous node. Okay, so that's how it works. And then finally when suppose p has turned to null and then q is on the last node, what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'll obviously first set the value of q next as the last. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put first is equal to q. So that basically means that my first or my head node is now q. Now p has turned to null, right? And we needed q on the last position to make the last to point the last to the last second. Okay, so basically I did this, q dot next is equal to r. Now q is the head because I gave it the value first is equal to now q. Now when we try to display it, first will be q, so basically it will go on displaying backwards. Okay, so this is the way now my linked list is now adjusted. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking 3 pointers, I'm going again forward, and then each time I go forward I'm going to take q dot next and then point it to r. Then again I will go forward, my q will come here, then I'm going to do q dot next, it will point to r. Then again we will move forward, and then so on. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys understood that. Let's try to implement it. It's very easy and it's quite simple code. Okay, I'm gonna call it reverse sliding pointers, and then I just want to pass the node. I'm going to put P, and then here basically I want to create those nodes which I talked about. Okay, so I'm going to need Q. I'm going to first set it as null, and then I'm also going to need R. I'm going to set it null. All right, so now I need to create a while loop. So while P is not equal to null, keep this loop running. Yeah, and then I'm going to set it like this: R is equal to Q, and then Q is equal to P, and then P is equal to P dot next. Look, exactly like I said it would be. Yep. So now the main thing, okay, Q dot next should point at R. So this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the main thing. Q should point to the previous node. Yeah. And once that loop is done, what we can do is just make first as Q. All right. That's all there is to it. Okay. And then basically it's an integer. I don't want to return anything specific. I'm just going to display it using the display functions that we created in our older tutorials. You can check out that playlist. Alright, so this is all there is to it. That's our function, and I'm just going to print it out again. Reverse using pointers, backslash n, backslash n. Yeah, and then I'm just going to call that reverse function. Yeah, sliding pointers. I want to pass in first. Alright, so now that's done. I want to display it again. Okay, so here I'm going to pass in first. Okay, that's all we had to do. Let's just try to display it. Hope that works. So this was our old. Yeah, so here is the new output. So as you can see, our list has been reversed successfully using pointers. Okay, so like I explained, the 3 pointers will move forward, and the middle one, that is Q, it will point to the previous node. They will move forward, they will point to the previous node. This is also a way to reverse our linked list. We can also do it using recursion. Maybe I'll make a tutorial of it in the next video. uh, yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. This will be it for this video. If you like this tutorial, please give it a like, share this to your friends, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and then yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.